Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri ve hlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli ve cealli veziran min ehli Harun ahi üştüd bihi ezri ve eşriku fi emri key nusabbihake kesira ve nezkurake kesira inneke kunte bina basira. Allahümme allimna ma yenfa'una ve enfa'na bima allamtena ve zidna ilma. Rabbena gfir lena ve li valideyna ve lil mu'minine yevme yekumul hisab. Rabbena atina fid dünya hasene ve fil ahireti hasene ve qina azabennar. La havle ve la kuvvete illa billahil aliyyil azim ve sallallahu ala Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve ashabihi ve etbahi ve sellem velhamdülillahi rabbil alemin. Amin. Welcome everyone. Inshallah, we will continue studying some verses from the Quran. And the main title, Ethical Lessons from the Quran, that is, we studied this verse, Nisa, fourth section of the Quran, the 79th verse, and we went into it, inshallah, as much as possible. We emphasized on the importance of hasana here, hasanetin, and we wanted to define what is hasana, and worked on it. Now, the same word will be used in the verse we are going to study today. That's why it is important to pay attention to it. So we may refer to it again. Now, my intention is to study this verse from section An'am, 6th section of the Quran, verse number 160. Although you see it in the screen, but I'm saying it just for the sake of recording. So if someone is listening but not watching or not having the opportunity to watch, we know that nowadays people, while they are driving or they are busy with something, it's good that they listen to this kind of discussions, inshallah. So I will read it. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Men ja'e min bil haseneti felehu ashru emsaliha. Ve men ja'e bis seyyieti fela yujza illa mislaha. Ve hum la yuzlamun. So let's read it slowly. Whoever has done a good deed, not necessarily a good deed. We discussed a lot last week as an introduction why we study the way we study, to give the reason. So we don't criticize the translators, but at the same time, we appreciate them. They do a good job. So they are serving to people to get general idea about the Quran, what the Quran is talking about. But if someone says, I read the Quran, reading the translation of it, it is very misleading. So we talked about it a lot. But saying that has done a good deed, it doesn't seem to be at least grammatically correct, because bil hasana it is good deed, but el hasana, the specifically good deed. And also, if someone, you or somebody listens to it, knows Arabic, if a word ends with this, you see the cursor now? Oh, no, what's going on? The cursor is te. This al-hasana it gives the strong meaning to it, and also makes or gives the word the flavor of a lot. That al-hasana, bil-hasana, al-hasana. I'm confusing the language, Arabic to English. So al-hasana, it means it's really a good deeds. Good deed. You can even say good deeds, plural, because of the te there. This is the details here.
Sorry to bother, Brother Ali, Assalamu alaikum, but live stream cannot see the screen. We cannot see the screen on Zoom.
Am I not sharing the screen?
No.
Thank you very much from the beginning. But let me see. That is, I'm sorry for this. Yeah. Yes, you are right, actually. Yeah. Here it is. All right. Fine now, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, thank you.
Thank you. Because when you write something in the chat box, I don't see it. Because I am on another page. As you did now, Feriha, thank you. I appreciate it. You have to speak out, inshallah, for the next time, because I don't see it. No, come here.
Question. So just to understand, a small good deed, is that something that you're trying to interpret, or is it like, because you said like a very good deed, as in like something really, really good? Like I'm just
No. We will go about. We will talk about it. But it doesn't mean that a good deed, but it means that the good deed must be a real good deed. That the Quran describes it. As the Quran describes it. And it's really a good deed, not only a single deed. Of course, it is included. Single deed is included as well. So, whoever has done any good deed, let's say, any good deed, will be rewarded tenfold. Good news, isn't it? But whoever has done an evil deed, sayyi'ah, again, the same thing, sayyi'ah, again, the same emphasized, any kind of sayyi'ah, evil deed, will be repaid only with one. It's equivalent. They will not be treated unjustly. When I read this verse, let's freely speak now, there is something not balanced. Good deeds are rewarded with tenfold, and evil deeds, why not tenfold? Well, it's equivalent only, 1 to 1. And you are saying, وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ, they will not be treated unjustly. The question is, okay, can we truly call this inequality unjust? My question, you are seeing it. There's an inequality, isn't it? Yes, but can we call it as an unjust? Why the Quran says, no, it is not unjust. So, is there any difference between equality and justice? I think everybody knows it. Is there any difference? Equality and justice? There, we'll explain what's the difference. Anyone? Equality, but being just. Now, for example, a child did something wrong. You just laugh at it. But if I do the same mistake, you just get cross with me. No, no, no. But you treat it unequally, not equally, sorry, but it is justice.
The word that currently we're using for it is equity.
Sorry?
The word that's usually being used in mainstream media right now is to choose equity rather than equality.
Now, equity.
Yeah.
Now, okay, it's
It's like the close to justice thing.
no, inequality, inequivalent. It's equivalent only, yeah. So we understand that God is treating his creatures, human beings, with his mercy. So although we deserve nothing, for example, do we deserve to exist? We didn't even know our existence. So we found ourselves, oh, I'm here. Do we deserve to be alive? Living being? Why not wood? I don't know. Given, freely. And there are other living beings. Do we deserve to be a human being with this capacity? Huge capacity, immense capacity. Feelings, communicating with the universe, understanding what it means. Immense capacity. No, I found myself reasoning immense. So we deserve nothing. So if teacher, a professor teaches me, gives me the document, textbook, everything, teaches. And then at the end, in the final exams, asks me questions, not because he doesn't know, because he's the teacher. Be careful here. It's a very good example, simple, but explains a lot of things. Asks me, one of the subject that he taught, what is this X, whatever the subject is? And you are writing as if he doesn't know you are teaching him. But presenting to the professor or your teacher, and teacher says, excellent, congratulations. Do you deserve it? Does the student deserve it? No, he has taught it. He taught him or her. So he doesn't deserve it, but professor appreciates it. You see the human feelings there? How these human feelings are precious? So we have to understand that God's treatment with us, like the professor's treatment to students. God gave everything to us: intelligence, memory, ability to improve ourselves, and all the human feelings. All of them are given to me freely. All the materials are from God. So, for example, if I say, I'm going to be a best gardener, simple example. Okay, you can be. How? You learn from how God creates. You don't invent anything. You just discover what is in the textbook. What is the textbook? Anyone? When I refer to textbook?
The universe?
The universe. The Quran is speech-wise or a spoken textbook, but the universe is real presentation to me. So I am learning everything from the universe. Document is taught by God, and I am writing as if my final exam. In the final exam, he asks me, what have you done with what I have given you? If you do it, he said, congratulations. If you don't, No, I'm sorry, you fail. You fail. But as a result of mercy, congratulates it. That is why in Islamic culture, it's everyone, the Muslims say, paradise is God's mercy. We don't deserve it. You must have heard of it. So we don't deserve it, but it is God's mercy. I would say, no. What is not God's mercy? God's mercy. What is not? Everything is God's mercy. Only what we do, we just block ourselves. Come to the class, professor is teaching, I am texting my friend, my professor is shouting again today. What is he talking? That's what the Quran says. Very interesting. The eye, I gave them, it is blind. The ear, I gave them, it is deaf. We put them a stamp on it. And the people say, God put stamp on it. No. You are in the class. Where is the class? In the university or the school. What is the school? The school? The universe. Yeah, we are in the class now. So the professor is teaching and I hear a noise. I don't pay attention to what it means, what is it saying. And of course, God says, you are deaf. Though unbelievers are deaf. Why? Doesn't listen to what he has, what the teacher is telling. So the teacher is presenting a PowerPoint or anything writing on the board, and I see something, but I don't read the meaning. Do I see it? According to the expectation, purpose of the Quran, teaching your reality, you are blind. This person is blind. Why? He doesn't see what is meant to be learned there. He doesn't listen what is meant to be learned there. That's why Quran says they are blind, they are deaf. They are deaf. Do you understand? We put stamp on it. It means you already have chosen. This is an interesting, delicate point. You already chosen not to see what is taught in the class, not to hear exactly what is. God says, okay, I'm just creating what you have chosen. What we have chosen, some people use this khatam Allahu ala qulubihim wa ala sam'ihim. No. Allah put it so that what I don't see. You see it, but you don't see what it meant to be. What it meant to be there. You don't see it. So that is what God is saying. That is your choice. For example, if I take a knife and cut my hand, or God forbid, how do you call this? To commit suicide, they cut here. What I don't know what it is called. So, main vein. When you cut two of them, the person dies. So if I cut this, one of the philosophers, this existentialist philosophers, did this and died. So we said, I decided to, I am the one who's going to decide to give an end to my life. I wouldn't let God to decide it. So ridiculous. But still obeyed God's order. Although he thought he didn't really obey God. God, he was free to give me life, and I am free to give an end to my life. Did you hear this story? No, okay. That is one crazy man, philosopher, very serious philosopher. Anyway, cut himself and committed suicide, but obeyed God. So God says, if you cut this, I will create death for you. Exactly. If you don't look at the meaning, what I am teaching you, what I am showing you, if you don't really see it, I will give you death. That is what I'm going to put a stamp on it. Yeah, khatamallahu ala qulubi. It's a very famous verse. So people make an excuse out of it. Look, in the Quran, it says, God put stamps on their eyes, their heart, their ear. So what shall this man do? No, no, no, no. You asked, he gave the result to you. He created the result for you. So anyways, let's go back to our subject. When a student does something in the final exam, gives a good paper, a very good paper, they give him honor degree. Excellent honor degree, yeah. Somehow like me, a degree, not honor degree. So they appreciate him more. That is how God created us. And this is what we do. But if someone doesn't write anything, empty paper, what the professor does, he's not going to hit him, F, finish, fail, finish. This is exactly human feelings are, and the Quran is teaching or reminding me who I am. And that is why we are created. We have to understand that, but we have to be honest to ourselves first. If we are honest to ourselves, we have to understand that the one who created me gave me the ability to understand him. Because this ability, human spirit, is, if you like, a bunch of potentials, a bunch of different feelings. All of them are expected to be connected to its source. Let me go in this subject. It is interesting. We have to recognize who we are. Well, first, the Quran says, which is also everybody accepts this, God gave spirit to human body in the story of Adam, the creation of Adam. Adam is created in the form of a clay, out of clay, body. It means all the things we feed comes from or through soil, body. That's what our body. And he blew from his spirit into this clay, this body. Look, starting point from God, ending in me. So what does it mean? All the qualities of God is possible for me to understand its origin. Do you get it? Where it came from. So if you like, we have to see ourselves that we are created to recognize our origin of existence. Who is it? Who made me? So where shall I learn it? Use yourself. So we see that I am expected to connect my human abilities, potentials to its source of existence. What is, if we really, for example, look at something, let's make it something. Look at a baby, like lovely. I love girl babies. So 3 years old girl, chatterbox, cannot stop, but you love it. So that is enough. So, still, daddy, goes on. I love it. Yeah, let's watch. When I look at it, am I seeing the baby? Am I seeing an artwork presented by its artist to me? Introduce his quality of artistry. How art, saniya in Arabic, saniya, I am. Look at my art. Or look at my daughter. There is a great difference. God says, I gave you this sense to you, God, just to connect me through my work. So when we pray, people are praying, what they are saying? Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim. Oh my God, guide me to the straight path. That is very conventional way of translating it. I say, what is it? What are you talking about? Straight path. The shortest path to go my home, or what are you talking about? Straight path means without diverting, without making any zigzag. Use your human abilities, capacities, and study my textbook. Textbook. Again, what is textbook? Universe. Here is this textbook. So study the textbook, my artwork. You will connect your feelings directly to me. It means go and find its origin, where it is coming from, and yourself. So Sirat al-Mustaqim, the straight path is if you look at the universe and what is manifested there, in our example, the baby or the child, young child. When I look at her, what a wonderful artwork. Who is this artist? He is artist. Now I can recognize who can be his or her artist. In the example, the baby girl. So who can be her artist? So if I find her artist, acknowledge it, it means I am directly connecting the ability to recognize the art there to its source, the creator. Straight path. That's why when you pray, and I believe all of you pray, say, Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim, bear in mind, please give me, help me to connect my feelings, my observations, my learnings, everything directly to its source, which is you. And then Ihdina as-sirat al-mustaqim is the result of İyyâke na'budu. Or only to you we worship. It means I acknowledge it directly, you. That is how a deed can be describable as good deed. Not everything I do. No, good deed. That is in the language of the Quran, bil hasana. No, hasana. Now, hasana, although I touched the subject, this particular point last week, but it is used again in this verse, and also important to understand what hasana is. The very famous word, ihsan, iman, Islam, ihsan, famous. It comes from the same root. I mean, everybody knows who knows a little bit Arabic. They know hasana, ihsan, and husun all of them are coming from the same root word. So, ihsan, the hadith narration, famous hadith, that's why hadith narration says the prophet, not the prophet, the prophet alayhi salatu wasalam was asked, what is ihsan? And he explained, ihsan is the famous hadith. I'm sure you must have heard of it maybe 10 times in your life. You have to worship God as if you are seeing it. Although you don't, but make sure and you become aware that he sees you. It means your relationship, your connection between you and him is always alive. Just be aware of it. Become aware of it. So if you are aware of the source of existence of everything, communicate with him through his artwork, then it is what we are doing, fulfilling the purpose of our existence. That is why it is important to understand that good deed means through anything. If I directly connect my qualities to its source of to their source of existence directly, I am on the straight path. Is it clear? So you look puzzled. Why? Sorry?
I think there's a noise coming from your computer.
What is?
There's a noise coming from your computer. Either someone is speaking or there's a video playing in the background. From-
I don't.
Here,
Is it
click
for-
on participants?
Sorry?
Click on participants, just to see if anybody is not muted. No, everyone's muted.
No, everybody is muted. From there. So can you go
I think
to
with those
the
lights turned on, that turned on.
to office?
Yeah,
Can you
maybe
go?
tell Osama that something's on.
And can you tell Asa?
Here, here.
I think it's going from there.
It's coming from here.
Inside there.
Yeah, this little box thing. I don't know what it is.
Is that connected to that?
So
I don't know what's
Esam,
connected to it.
Esam knows it. Just tell Esam. He must be in the office. So, okay, thank you. Now, can we truly call this? We understood that one. If a person who did we understand that when we give a good paper, good result, and really connect ourselves to our source of existence, then this is a good deed. And this good deed is appreciated by God because we have been given this sense to us in order to respond back. So when I respond back, God says, "But I will give you 10 times."
It might.
Stop. Okay.
Just the sound. Know where it's coming from. I can check with the cops and see.
Okay. Thank you, Esam.
So are you saying that when you talk
Stop.
about hasana,
No.
that hasana, thank God.
So it's
That hasana isn't necessarily like just, hold on, it came back.
okay.
That hasana isn't just necessarily like a good deed, right? So it's not like just picking trash up from the floor, but you're saying hasana is more of the connection between you and God and the understanding that
But
there's a connection.
any action we are doing with this consciousness is hasana.
Okay. Well, the consciousness of it's a connection with God.
Yeah, of course. But if you are attributing it to myself, there is a problem. There's a diversion there. There's a problem. But of course, we will make another analysis there. A person who doesn't really do any good action at all, even in his own name, not in the name of God, consciously, but consciously, even his own name, as compared to the one who doesn't do it. For example, a person helps a needy, the other one doesn't. There's a difference. But it is another platform needs to be analyzed. But for the moment, as far as the purpose of the Quran is concerned, because we, again, touched upon it last week, the purpose of the Quran to teach us the purpose of our existence, why we are created, in order to get to know who my creator is and get acquainted with him and connect with him. That's how we are trying to understand how we are going to connect with our creator. So that is, if you like, the Quranic term of hasana. We gave an example of orphan last week, for example. In the world, we know that there are some people takes care of this unattended, let's call it in general terms, children. They need to be taken care of. Yes, this is taking care of orphan, but we said Quranic term as used orphan, then yatim, ولا يحض على طعام المسكين. No, this Quran advises us not to really push away the yatim and needy ones, but help them. So take care of the need of yatim, but is it Quranic term? We understood that everything is yatim. So if you are wondering what it means, last week's recordings. So you can go there. But Quran uses the same Arabic word in its own time, and also uses it really rhetorically, immeasurable, valuable rhetorics we find in the texture of the Quran. That needs really a special study. It's not our subject here, but using the same word, even the famous poets, the word is the same, but meaning, no. Even the rhetoric, Arab, that time especially, Arab, the Bedouin poets are unimaginable. You can just, Shakespeare is famous, huh? Nothing. Study Arab poet. Study. You will see what rhetoric means, really. Maybe you may be aware of. So amazing, so detailed, impossible to imagine. But Quran uses the same rhetoric, but the content of the meaning, they use yatim, orphan. Quran uses orphan. What they mean by orphan is just a child who doesn't have any parents to take care of. Quran says yatim, within the context of the Quran, yatim means everything is yatim. You can treat them and insult them, saying that you are nonsense. Who is going to, for example, looking at a tree and saying that that's a natural being, just randomly developed in this way. So it means nothing. Use it. That's it. But because it is somehow useful for me, let's protect it. As if, go back to the student in the class, seeing the professor's PowerPoint presentation and not reading what it means, but seeing that something is colorful there. Something is colorful. And of course, it is an insult to the professor. If I say the tree has nothing, is not a textbook that I have to study, giving a textbook to the student says, for example, look, our professor today gave us a lump of paper sheets. What do you think the professor will feel? Insult. So this sense is given to us who our creator is. He says, if you do the same thing to my work, to my textbook, I will take it as an insult. How do I know? I don't have to read the Quran. My sense is telling me this. So I feel that it is an insult. So here the hasana, you can see the same word in Arabic, hasana. It means nothing. In the Quranic term, you have to act in such a way that anything presented to you is a means of communicating with your source of existence directly. Got it? So I know Arabic, all right, but I understand the Quran. Maybe, I don't know. What does hasana mean? Good deed. Okay, bye-bye. Have a good day. Bye-bye. So we will understand this, that whatever is given to us, if we respond back, respected, is really respected, God says, you deserve it. For example, here is the computer. And I am sure this computer has capacity, let's make it fair, 95% more than what I am using of it. It is just writing texts and email. What I do sometimes watch my course video. I gave you the link to you. Did you watch it?
Not yet, but I'm.
No, yeah, it is very heavy, but by the way, but it's, yeah, it is, yeah, oh, it's all right. No. I mean, it is not teaching Arabic. It is balagha of the Quran, a rhetorical side of the Quran. So I'm using this kind of things and nothing else, but there are much more capacity in it. If the engineer, or let's make the example simple, one engineer, of course, it is maybe 1,000, maybe more than 1,000 engineers involved in the course of history of computer, no, more than 10,000 engineers worked on it. It is not a simple work. So, but make it simple, one engineer sees me, he says, please give it to me. Get this primitive, whatever you call it, simple computer. You don't deserve it. But if someone, it can't be me, but if someone uses it fully, what do you think the engineer will feel? Huh? It is worth it, man. And then we said, can I give you even more? Can I give you a computer which has even more capacity? So yes, please. That is paradise. 10 times more. Do you understand this? The spirit of the meaning of the verse now? 10 times. You deserve it. That's why we have to watch out not to waste ourselves. Not to waste the universe. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. When you see a bird for example, flying there or really on the branch of the tree, perching there, maybe singing as well. You say, Mashallah, Yara, what a beautiful art. What a beautiful art. Just presentation to you. You deserve more. Yeah? That is what tenfold means, as I understand. How about equivalent? So, if someone, for example, if I use my eyes, simple example, I love simple examples as much as I can think of it. I am sharing with you. When I look at it, how many things I see? Yeah? Benefit from them. When I close it, what happens? Nothing. Zero. It means equivalent. As if I don't have an eye. Finish. As if I don't have an eye. That is hell. Why? What does hell mean? The Quran says burning or, yeah, that is, it is, yes, correct. But why? Why? This horrible description of hell? Just because how are we going to feel if we don't use our eye, if we don't use our ear and ability to speak, to think, to feel, nothing. Make my spirit dysfunctional. As a human being, what happens? You are still conscious, huh? Don't forget. And you want to see? No. You want to hear? Nothing. You are hungry? Nothing. You are thirsty? Nothing. You want to have a cool life? Nothing. Because you said it is randomly happening natural. It is natural, all right. Not me, okay. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you anything. Now, that is what you are asking. You asked. That is what the paper in the final exam you gave me. So what are we expecting? If a professor who gives empty paper, let's say, and the one who gives the full answer, they are treated equally. That is unjust. That's why they will not be treated unjustly. Everybody will be treated as they deserve. But we know that if we do something good, because of our spiritual capacity provided by our Creator, so this he deserves it, not me. For example, if I learn something from a teacher, and if I say, this is what I produced, you say, no, you learn it from the teacher. So if I am a very good student and learn everything what the professor taught me, this is not my virtue. It is professor's virtue. If he was he or she, but she means perfect, but we can use it. Huh? So if he was a bad professor, so if I cannot learn, then you blame the professor, right? If it is a good professor, then you appreciate the professor. So that is what we need to understand, that what if I do something good? This is the value or appreciation should go to my Creator. So this computer works perfectly. What does it mean? The engineer was a perfect, right? Do you understand? It works perfectly. So God says, if I gave you something, I deserve to be acknowledged. I deserve to be thanked. Now, for example, again, simple examples. Tree, fruit on the branch. Are you going to appreciate the tree? Are you going to appreciate the creator of the tree and the fruit on it? Which one? That is good deed. If you appreciate the tree, that is bad deed. No, you got it? So we have to make these differences between two words, hasene and seyyi'e. Seyyi'e, not using my qualities in the way that they are created for. Hasene, using my qualities in the way that they are created for. So that is what the Quran comes as a distinguisher. Distinguisher makes the difference between what is right and what's wrong. So, for example, a poet may say, beautiful, write a poet writes a poem, beautiful description of the, let's say this Washington Park. Beautiful, really exciting. Okay. But appreciates the thing is created in the park, but doesn't appreciate the one who is demonstrating it, who is creating it. Then he fades. The purpose of the trees or beautiful things and a water fountain, there, for the purpose of the appreciation of their maker, the creator of this beautiful scenery, not for the tree itself. Tree is wood, it doesn't know what it's doing. It cannot have any consciousness, any intelligence, any, I don't know, mercy, or trying to help you clean your atmosphere. You know, the trees are great workers helping us. Most important work is done by the trees because we need the oxygen in the atmosphere every second, not second, but every 5 seconds, just keep breathing in. We need that much. Who is doing this? Employ the trees. So I have to appreciate the wood, or I have to appreciate the one who created it with this capacity. Well, I have to be careful which way I am going to communicate or utilize this universe. So now the last part, the time is almost up. So if a person who is not a believer in God does good deeds, now in this term, believer in God, not good deed in terms of the Quranic terminology, but as we use it in our secular terminology now. In good deeds,
Good deeds without God consciousness. So good deeds without God consciousness.
no, without God consciousness, using himself, not spoiling it, but in the positive way. Good deeds humanly, is there a tenfold reward for him as well? So we defined how do you define God? Good deeds, we dealt with this. How about the last point here? If a person does good deeds tenfold, what do you think? How do you explain? Not tenfold, because he didn't really fulfill the purpose. But if we know that there is again, my school example is always works. I have 3 examples so far, those people at these classes. Book example, piece of art example, and school example. Both of them work perfectly. To me, I don't know. School example is the best because universe is a school. If someone doesn't feel himself, herself, as a student here, while I'm sitting here, I'm a student, not here in the class. No. Somewhere on the street, walking, I am a student in this university of universe. Now, if someone is going to start a new university, said university. So then I lose myself. But there are two kinds of students now in the example. One is silently listening, sitting, although doesn't pay attention to the professor, but not disturbing anyone, being kind to other people, respectful other students. If someone wants to pay attention, he doesn't really prevent him. The other one is jealous. And if someone is really paying attention to, gets in front of him, keeps him busy not to listen to the class. Are these students equal? That is what we are talking about in this question. If a person who is not a believer, okay, doing something unconscious, not God consciousness, with God consciousness, but humanly behaves as a human. He's a good student, doesn't harm anyone, but he doesn't learn. So you say, pity. But how about the student disturbs other people, kills people, declares war on here and there, tries to cheat people? Are they equal? Although both of them, by definition, we don't know anyone, but by definition, don't believe in God, both of them. But are they equal? Of course. So you and I understand with the sense that God gave me, they cannot be equal. It means God is informing me that I'm not going to treat them equally. Did you understand? So good deeds, even not with God performed, not with God consciousness, will be treated differently from those people who cause, how translate fitna
Fitna?
in English.
Yes.
There was a word.
Calamity? Calamity?
No, fitna.
Issues?
Sorry?
Issues? Issues.
No.
Problem.
Some,
Conflict.
let's say corruption. Yeah. Although dissension in the human society. Are they equal? Peaceful people. Most of the people are peaceful. Only if you, how do you say, the people, although they don't really show that they are believing in God, but how about the ones in the YouTube channels? Dissension, Umayyah, thank you. Now, in the YouTube, trying to use scientific, but with misinterpretation of scientific description of the thing, saying that something theory. I don't want to mention the name of the theories they are presenting, because our principle, we have two principles in our classes: not to mention the name, not to give reference. But because even, of course, giving reference of the Quran, we are studying. Apart from this, I read this from this tafsir. No. Commentary on the Quran. Why? We are not here to present or sell out my knowledge. Just what I learned, this is what I learned. From where? None of your business. That's what I learned. Do you like it or not? Take it or reject it. So let me complete this. The time is up, and then I, of course, listen to you. So we don't give reference. We said
Dissension.
dissension. So these people are strongly rejected and blamed in the language of the Quran. But people, ordinary people, you believe, they don't say, all right, well, go ahead, none of my business. The other one says, no, you shouldn't believe. Everything is natural. I'm using a very umbrella term. Everything is natural. This happening to be. The nature is infinite, eternal. but this is not our subject discussion. But I have said, are they the same? They don't want you to believe and try to corrupt your mind. They cannot be equal. Definitely cannot be equal. Okay. The time is getting closer. I think we understood, covered the verse at least. Mostly we cover one verse a day. So, but if somebody knows some things, how to read the Quran and the meaning, deep meaning in it, and especially the rhetorical quality of the Quran, they will say, oh, you got something, but it is nothing on the surface. There are a lot in it, but this is as much as we can study, inshallah, at this level. I'm just wrapping up. I didn't forget. Wrapping up because the time is up. We are trying to learn when we read an English translation of any verse in the Quran, we should be sure that we are just really traveling in the ocean, but on the surface. But still, alhamdulillah, we are in the ocean, but on the surface, not down there, see the pearls and all wonderful fish, unimaginably designed beautifully. No. But at the same time, alhamdulillah, being in the ocean, it's good. What the purpose of this class, I'm just keep talking. Purpose of this class to see that you are, most of us, read the Quran from its English translation, at least get some sort of flavor that there is something more underneath it. There is something more. There is something more. That's what the aim of this class is.
I was just gonna say, like, obviously doing a good deed is never a bad thing. But like doing a good deed without like the mindset of like, well, if I do this, I can get rewarded, tenfold. Just like an example, like last week, I was by like Brookfield Mall, and I saw this lady like talking to somebody, and she seemed like under stress, and I was like, "Is everything okay?" She's like, "No, I can't find my kid." I was like, oh. So like the next like 15, 20 minutes, I'm like going around like telling security, like trying to find this kid. We found the kid, and I guess like wherever I ended up afterwards, like walking back to like where I was sitting down. Someone I've been trying to get a hold of for a while was like, very busy, who could like maybe help me with the job, just so happened to walk by that exact moment. So it's like doing that, like doing a good deed, like not thinking that like, all right, if I do this, I'm definitely gonna get like rewarded. Yeah. But like doing a good deed regardless is never a bad thing.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Tenfold is not really number 10. It means a lot. Yeah, the Quran uses 10, sometimes 7, sometimes 700. So that is not an exact number. Quran is not giving the number. Yes, please.
Still have a question about question 2. If a person who is not a believer in God does good deeds, and a person who is a believer in God does good deeds, they're not the same, right?
No. I said the student, there are 3 examples in this class of the universe. One is really learning what the professor teaches. The other one is harming nobody, sitting there but not learning. The other one is not learning plus trying, because of jealousy, tries to corrupt others. Yeah. So 2 of them are representing unbelievers. One of them represents believers, but these 2 unbelievers are not equal. Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Inshallah, next week we have another exciting verse. There are a lot, all of them, but I'm just selecting. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I have to stop. Wassalamu alaikum, my friends. Thank you very much joining in Zoom. Thank you.